when I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
Take my hat off.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just...
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Morris?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Doni.
And dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
Letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Peggy Morris.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are
I bet
you?
you are. I'm all right.
Good, good, good.
Praise
If
the
you're
Lord.
good, Doni, I'm good.
That's right, because you know if you ain't good and I ain't good, they all better watch out.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Dorsey, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, Doni, and how are you?
Good. Dr. Dorsey, who is Sisters for Sisters? What is Sisters for Sisters?
You better put that network on there.
First of all, it's a networking group, Doni. You have to be able to make, and if you are Sisters for
Lord.
Sisters and don't say networking, you're in deep trouble. So
Why?
Doni
you
knows
don't want
better.
to be in deep trouble. So I'm just
Why?
telling you that right now.
Why?
You
You
know
can tell
what?
us why, Peggy.
Of course.
Doni, Sisters for Sisters Network is exactly what it says. It is a group of women, sisters, who are all together and they're networking to be able to make a change throughout the community. Now, based on the fact that our president and her epiphany came up with the name Sisters for Sisters, the 4 is actually the number 4, and it stands for the 4 pillars that hold up this organization. Doni, you know that you can't do anything unless you got a firm foundation. And the firm foundation is built on the 4 pillars, which are education and mentoring, which I'm part of, domestic violence, entrepreneurship, and health and wellness. All the things well-rounded that make Sisters for Sisters Network successful. That's who we are. That's what we do.
Hey, Doni, and I paid her to say that, okay?
Yes.
You did a great job, Dr. Dorsey. Where are you from, Dr. Dorsey?
I'm a native New Yorker, but when I turned 18, I lived in Detroit for like about 30 years, and then I moved to Florida. So that's when I came up here. So a little bit all over.
What borough? Are you from New York City?
No, I'm actually from Long Island. So I live in a small hamlet called Flanders, which is right between Southampton and Riverhead.
Well, I live in a small hamlet called Sandtown. A hamlet.
Yes.
Where are you from, Peggy Morris?
From East Baltimore, right down the street from Johns Hopkins Hospital.
What high school, Peggy? You know that's a Baltimore question.
Now, you know, Dunbar, Parnes, Lawrence,
Dunbar High School, East Baltimore. Poet.
You know, it's the second oldest high school. There's a Dunbar in D.C., but the
It is.
Dunbar in D.C. is older.
It is.
All right. So,
You know your stuff, Donnie. That's what I love about you, Donnie. You know your history.
well, our history is important. Those who don't have one or don't know one, not only do you not have roots, you allow some idiot to tell you what your history is.
Tell me about it.
I will tell you about it. I wrote a book about it.
I know
I
you
Am
did.
Black Wall Street. So one of the facts in here, Dr. Dorsey, I go looking into, if you look at the cover, I go looking at where did the first blacks in Oklahoma, where did they come from? And I found out they were blacks who were on the Trail of Tears. But they were not slaves. They were not enslaved. But if we haven't done our history, our research, you would let some idiot who doesn't know their own history try to tell me my
About your history?
Lord have mercy. That's why it's important that I know my own history.
Yes.
Because I found that people trying to tell me my history are wrong.
Yes.
I'll give you a quick fact if you like to know.
Yes.
So a lot of black people have indigenous blood. I know my daddy told me his grandma was Blackfoot Indian.
Mine's too.
Okay.
I got some Indian in me too.
So a lot of us do Ancestry.com or have done it. But Ancestry.com does not acknowledge. They'll tell you, Peggy, you got 2% Nigerian, 3% Sierra Leonean.
Yes.
I think they just be rolling the dice, just making up stuff. But they will never tell you how much indigenous American blood you have.
You're
absolutely because they don't know.
Absolutely right about that. Absolutely right about that.
Idiot who won't even acknowledge. So we have been in the Americas longer than anybody. Why? Because we are the original.
Exactly.
We're the original.
Yeah.
And they can try to write us out all they want. But in this book, I tell you that one of the first black people to ever come to the Americas came 14,000 years ago. And it was a black woman.
Wow.
Wow, Donnie.
So it's important we know our history. That's why I like learning the history of Sisters4Sisters. Dr. Dorsey, how did you first come across this group? Did they meet you in the bathroom and like, yeah, you better join Sisters4Sisters?
Tell them, Laura. Tell them how we did it.
Not quite that way. Actually, Sharon Bullock actually brought me into the group, and just to be able to make sure I was new to the area. I had just moved to the DMV area, and I did not know anyone. Met Sharon Bullock at a book signing and became part of her book project.
Is that the lady with the tam hat?
Yes.
Morgan Knight.
Yeah, that tam be woo.
Yeah. Became part of the book project Embracing My Sexy 60s, where I immediately met 20 women who were my age, who were in their 60s, including President Peggy Morris. And so I went from knowing no one to immediately having 19 sisters to be able to embrace me. And when I, obviously being part of the book, suggested that I attend an event and that I be part of Sisters4Sisters network, Donnie, you know these women. These were all amazing women who were doing things, and they were movers and shakers and whatever. And I was like, no, I am not at that level yet. I need to grow up to be there. And so I told Peggy, no, I said, I don't think I have that much to bring to the table. And, you know, she's got that third eye, Donnie, when she don't have to raise her, she got that third eye. And so she was like, no, I see something in you that you don't necessarily even see. So you come on and join the group and whatever. And she groomed me into being what it is that I am right now. So I am the special chair of the Education and Mentoring Committee. And I have taken a personal project that I have with Peg's Nurturing and have put that into a multi-million-dollar results project that I'm doing here in the DMV. It's a national program that I do. So now, wherever I am, that's where Sisters4Sisters Network is. And so the organization is growing as I am growing, all because of that third eye that she saw something in me that I did not see.
I would get you.
She also has a boomerang in her back pocket.
Okay, yes.
She got a boomerang. So,
Okay.
Peggy Mars, what'd you think of the intro to this show?
You know, Donnie, it's so funny. I was sitting there and I'm like saying, wow, Donnie, you have grown over the years. And look at the beauty of our people that you have connected and have allowed them the platform to tell their story. I love it. I love it.
Peggy, why don't we support each other more? I'm talking about in our community, generally speaking.
I
Your
think
sisters,
we
y'all
are.
do. You support me, I support you. Why isn't that more infectious?
I think we're getting better at it, Donnie. I think we have finally learned that we can't do it alone. Finally got the message that we cannot do this thing alone. And so I'm now going around and I'm connecting with women and men who are telling me their story. And the story that they're telling me is that someone has connected with them to make whatever they're doing work. So it's coming. We're making it happen.
Dr. Dorsey, do you know how ironic it is for you to know a Peggy Morris in Prince George's County? I mean, you do know she's from East Baltimore. That's like from being from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Donnie,
I do know how ironic it is. You know, we were at an event.
That's in Prince George's County and Hamlet.
Prince George, the gorgeous Prince George's.
Cul-de-sacs. I don't know if there are any cul-de-sacs in East Baltimore.
No, Donnie, no,
Donnie. We were at an event the other day that Peggy took me to, and with Black women and what is it, Peg? The minority business women. We mean business. She means business.
You mean business,
and
yeah.
One of the ladies said that everybody that you need to have a person with you that's a sidekick or was somebody who knows somebody. They were saying that if you want to be successful, you always have to be in somebody, you know somebody. And I immediately looked at Peg and I was like, okay, that's why I'm here. Because I'm with somebody who knows somebody. And even whenever we go anywhere, Donnie, all I got to do is stand right next to her because people are going to come up. She knows somebody, We went to church on Sunday and the people like, Peggy Morris. And the pastor's like, oh my goodness. There's nowhere I've ever went with her, Donnie, where people didn't come up to her. She knows somebody, she knows everybody, and then everybody knows her. And by proxy, I get to smile and be her sidekick, whatever.
Even out of town?
Huh?
Even out of town?
Donnie, we went to Cleveland. She had me meeting with George. I had a one-on-one with George Frazier in Cleveland because Peggy set that up. Peggy travels with me whenever I happen to do stuff for the scholarship program because, again, she wants this education and mentoring part. So, yes, even out of town. We at the airport. We at the hotel. Donnie, she can't go nowhere in Cleveland. Donnie, I ain't never heard of... Okay, I'm just saying.
You know that anywhere there are gangsters, she knows somebody.
Yes.
That's why I know you, Donnie.
I tell Peggy I'm going to Atlanta. She said, "Well, call my sister when you get there. Then you get the
Hey,
royal
Donnie, it's
treatment. I
all
mean,
about
red
making
carpet
connections.
service."
It's all about making connections, Donnie.
She ever get mad at you, Lord Dorsey? I can tell you, she get mad at me. Oh Lord, and she don't want to answer the phone. She puts you on a timeout. First of all, she treat me like a little brother. She put me on timeout, and it's like I gotta leave her some dirty messages. And like, with all due respect to your husband, you better answer this damn phone. Stop playing. She'll leave you on timeout, and you know she mad at you because she rolled her eyes at you the last time you saw her.
Donnie, that's you. I don't want that. I don't want that smoke. I am not even going to incur the wrath.
Oh my God, it is.
Not at all.
Then she see you at an event and you think she forgot, and she still give you that dirty look. But she praise the Lord. How you doing? No, I get you.
Stop it, Donnie. Stop it.
Tell me about domestic violence, Lord Dorsey. Tell me about what Sisters for Sisters does to help empower women.
Donnie, the one thing that I can say about domestic violence, first of all, that is more so Peggy's wheelhouse than mine. But I can say to you that everything that she does, all of the sisters are involved in. Domestic violence is one of those issues that's not as talked about as often as it possibly should be. Peggy gets those nighttime telephone calls with people calling her with domestic violence issues. This is something we don't say out loud. Domestic violence is just like you talking about the history, you writing it down. Don't nobody want to tell that story. Don't nobody want to write that story. They want that to be behind closed doors. So Peggy gets that constant telephone call where she needs help, where a woman needs, to be able to be helped out of a situation. But Peggy will bring it to the light. And she will bring the issue of domestic violence to the light. And that's exactly what she did. They just had a major event a couple of weeks ago that she can tell you about where the whole entire area, including the vet club, was had a promotion that had to do with domestic violence. So Peggy believes in making sure that the stories don't stay hidden, that they come to light. And whatever we can do to be able to sustain that, to be able to make it, because if you bring it to the light, Donnie, just like your history books, if you bring it to the light, then you can do something about it. But you can't do anything about it if it's hidden. Exactly. Peggy's not gonna let anything be hidden. She's gonna bring the truth up to the light, or she's gonna, like you said, give you that look to make sure you better do something about it. So,
tell me about domestic violence and Sisters for Sisters outreach over the years, Peggy. This is not a new topic for the group. You've been bringing attention to this every year.
Yeah. Well, Donnie, it's amazing. When we started the organization back in 2002, our focus was on entrepreneurship. We wanted women to start their own business, to grow their business, to expand their business. And we noticed as we were coming together, the conversation began to change, and women were beginning to talk about domestic violence. They were talking about how do we improve our lifeline to live longer. We talked about our young babies. What can we do to save one? Okay, and that's how the 4 pillars came to play. But domestic violence, I took ownership of that because I grew up in a household of domestic violence as a young person. So I know what that's like. And I sympathize with a lot of these young kids. We wonder why they're so messed up. It's because of their environment, where they come from. And so I wanted to be able to have a platform to allow women who are now free from this domestic violence environment to be able to speak about it, to be able to empower other women to say, they too can do the same thing. And so that's what we've been doing over the past a good 10, 12 years.
Peggy, nobody wants to talk about it, but there's some women who beat women.
Oh, there are women who beat men.
Lord have mercy. Now, see, let me tell you something. I'm from East Baltimore, too. I got some East Baltimore roots. And I can't find it right now, but I will find it. Can you, Peggy, say that again?
Oh,
So
yeah.
women who beat men.
They're beat men. Exactly.
Now, I ain't going to put my hands on you, but you better not put your hands on me either.
That's right. No.
I'm
seen
getting ready
it.
to get deep, Peggy. I ain't finished. You also got some other violence in the house. Sometimes fathers or brothers who push up on their little sisters, their daughters.
Bullies.
As I've gotten older, I've met and heard of situations where the father or the stepfather have become sick. I'm reading Morgan Freeman's story.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, Lord. What about these men pushing up on these women, or these women whose boyfriend is pushing up on their daughters?
Donna, it's real.
That's
Is
violence because these women are traumatized.
They are. I have heard and have listened to most recently a woman who shared with us that she worked in a hospital in ER and have seen so many bodies come in with bullet holes and they don't make it. And she found herself in the same predicament by helping out a friend. Went to pick up a child, that this person's child from the dad. As they were leaving out, he followed them out the door and shot her 6 times. 6 times, Donnie. And his ex-wife 7. And they're both here alive to be able to tell the story. How many do we know can just one bullet can take you out of here? 1. They survived 6 to 7 bullets. So I've heard some stories. It's just been amazing. You have to be careful to not get caught up because it can damage others. It can wear you out.
At the core of this is anger, is lack of control.
It's
So
low self-esteem is one of the reasons why.
Money,
exactly. Illness, health,
jealousy.
Yes, there's so many factors, Donnie. And the reason why I say that because I had the opportunity many years ago to look at my dad. What was the trigger in him to be the if you want to call it a monster? But I had to really analyze and look at what was going on in his life. And what I came to conclusion, it was mental illness. That plays a big part in a lot of this domestic violence that's going on. We have a lot of sick people mentally.
And sick and hurt people unless they are healed.
There you go. That's it.
It's good to have, here's another issue in our community: mass incarceration. You came out of East Baltimore. If you grew up in East Baltimore, anywhere near Greenmount, Dr. Lord Dorsey, this is a part of town that has, or at one point it had city jail, the detention center, the Maryland State Penitentiary, the women's jail, diagnostic, and Supermax. And don't forget the halfway house called a Fishbowl, all within like
all
3
together.
blocks.
Wow.
So if you grew up across the street, you see the penitentiary. Your mama tell you every day, boy, you better go to school because if you don't, you'll be going to the penitentiary too.
That's right.
Wow.
So in terms of mass incarceration, this country has 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the world's inmates. And these days, the Black woman is the fastest growing demographic in the prison, because women have had to hold their own for so long. They've often had to take on the role of men or the protectors.
That's right.
Any thoughts on mass incarceration and how we heal our communities?
Donnie, one of the things that I have always said is that I don't have all the answers, but one of the things that you do know in business is that when there's a problem, you have a problem, you need to be able to talk about the solution. And one of the things that I think that a part of the solution to the mass incarceration, just a tiny fraction of it, is education. So if we start early enough to be trying to educate our young people, our young men and our young women to know that you got other choices, if we start early enough to know that, Donnie, you know what I find amazing is that same skills that you use to be a drug dealer, if you put that into running a business or whatever, where would, what kind of business acumen would we have? That same skill set that it means that you have with running a gang or whatever. If you use that same skill set in running a corporation, what would it be? We're already at $1.3 trillion in buying power. Can you imagine if we took that street skills, that street smarts that they had, and put that into a financial set? So I believe that education is just part of the answer to that problem, which is what I try to focus on. Part of the answer. I can't solve the whole problem, but if I could just point you in the right direction.
Well, Peggy, Sisters4Sisters Network Incorporated has a long history in terms of doing business. Mm-hmm. I think we met at a business event at the Forum.
Sure did. At the Forum.
Well, that's where you introduced me to Odessa. Up there with Ray Haysbert.
Yes. Oh, Donnie, and I have a picture of us too.
You remember the CEO Business Cafe?
Of course. Of course. That was the root.
She had to move all the way to Florida, play pickleball.
Yep.
She left us. She said bye-bye.
But the beautiful thing of technology, we're able to stay connected. And I think I see more of Odessa and Rick more so now than ever, thanks to Facebook. Yeah.
Yep, Odessa was the big help going to New York City, going to Harlem.
Go to Harlem, yep.
We love Harlem. She connected us with Victor Pate in Harlem. Victor Pate, Dr. Dorsey, is the ex-offender returning citizen guru. So, Dr. Dorsey, we do the Black Wall Street Awards in New York City is the first place we took them beyond Washington, D.C.
Correct.
And Peggy was there, as well as a whole posse from North Carolina to Connecticut. We all landed in the United Nations. That was our first event in New York City at the United Nations.
There you go, Donnie.
We showed up and showed out.
See, that's part of our legacy. That's what we've been doing over the years, pulling it together. And Donnie, I have to applaud you, my brother. I have to give you all credit due, because you know how to bring us together through the Black Wall Street. And you have done it for the past, 11, 12 years?
Yeah, I time is flying. It's now 12 years.
Yeah.
You get to say in your spiel, it's 12 years now. 2011 is when we started.
I remember.
Washington, D.C., busboys and poets. And she gave me that look one of them days, Dr. Dorsey. Let me tell you, she give you that side eye, boy. She cut you like grandma cut you. And if you translate and put it into words, you're like, ooh.
Oh, Donnie, all good, honey. All good.
Dr. Dorsey, you got some feedback over there. What's that noise?
Probably they're doing the lawn care outside.
Oh, okay. I was like, she got some carpet cleaning going on. Okay. All right. So Peggy, you got something going on right now. What's happening? What do you have going on right now?
Donnie, as I mentioned earlier, and Dr. Lloyd Darcy mentioned, we have been putting our foot into trying to make an impact in our community. And we just finished up 3 youth summits, 2 in Prince George's County and 1 in Baltimore. We're on the verge this Friday to be in Baltimore again. And I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Lloyd Dorsey, because if it wasn't for her, we would not be in Baltimore making an impact.
Okay, tell us about it, Dr. Dorsey.
Well, Peg might say that she's putting it on to me, but Doni, you know how she does. Okay, she just points you in the right direction. We have been doing the scholarship fair in Prince George's County for the past 2 or 3 years. And so we have been very successful with it. The first year we had over 500 students, and we had about 55 colleges, and they gave away about $16 million in scholarships. The second year we had about 400 students and about 45 colleges, and they gave about $15 million in scholarships. Well, Peggy thought that that wasn't enough. She was like, I need to go home with this project, which meant that she needed to go to Baltimore. And I was like, Doni, now I can do a whole lot of things. I just can't make Baltimore happen. But Peggy said, yes, we can. And then people from Baltimore called me and they said, listen, we want to do this in Baltimore. I said, you want to do it in Baltimore? Peggy wants to do it in Baltimore. I guess I can make Baltimore happen. So this year, instead of just having 1 fair, we're going to have 2. So we're on Friday, October 27th. We're going to be at Set the Captives Free Outreach Center in Baltimore. Pastor Karen has been gracious enough to be able to offer her church, her church family, and embraced me and Peggy so much that we're going to be there Friday from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock. They're busing the schools in. And then from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, where the parents then, when they get off from work, can come and bring their children in to see about scholarships. Doni, we're going to have 30 colleges and universities that have money to give away on the spot. This is what we're bringing to Baltimore on Friday, October 27th. And if you feel like Friday wasn't working well for you, then on Saturday, October 28th, in collaboration with Sisters4Sisters Network and Dr. Martin Luther King's Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Prince George's County, which I sit on their board also, we're going to do the same thing at the First Baptist Church of Highland Park. And from 9 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m., the same colleges are going to be there, the same opportunities for the students in this particular area to be able to do this. Doni, we have already had registered over 120 some odd children in Baltimore that are already going to be there. We have almost 100 students that are already registered in Prince George's County that are going to be there. The colleges are already flying in. I've been talking to people all night. They're flying in on Thursday so they can be ready to set up on Friday. And we're just going to show up and show out, as Peg always says.
This is going to be this Friday at Set the Captives Free, and that's in Woodlawn, Peggy. Get yourself muted there, Peggy.
Yeah, Doni, you're familiar with not Mondawmin, Security Boulevard. Yes.
Security Mall. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I am familiar with Mondawmin.
Yes. Yeah.
Mondawmin need a daggone job fair up there too. But anyway, yeah, we're going up to the county, the Woodlawn.
Right. And it used to be the J.C. Penney, and they converted it into a church, and then they have done an amazing job over there. Amazing.
Yeah, malls are rethinking it. People aren't paying those exorbitant prices.
Yeah.
The mall can be an expensive place to rent. A lot of these malls getting empty.
Yeah.
Especially through COVID, because they charge way too much for the rent.
Yeah.
Big stores are leaving.
Oh, yeah. The big ones are leaving. And you know who's sustaining these malls? Are the small businesses. We have to remember it's the small businesses that are holding us up.
How many small businesses in Sisters4Sisters Network Incorporated?
We have about 30 small businesses. women-owned businesses in our network, and I am so proud of it, Donnie. I got some ideas, some things I'm working on to really, really support them. We're just trying to get over our scholarship component. And thanks to, again, to Dr. Lloyd Dorsey, we're making that happen. And again, we've done 3 youth summit, 2 in Prince George's County, 1 in Baltimore, and we're turning around to do 2 scholarship and career expo this weekend.
What are the young people talking about, Peggy?
You know, Donnie, I am just so proud of these young people. You know, we kind of kicked them to the curb, but these young people, and Laura Dorsey can tell you, we got some brilliant young people walking this earth, and it's going to take us to put our foot under them and push them, keep pushing them, keep encouraging them, keep inspiring them to do whatever they need to do to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Look, Dr. Dorsey, tell me about the young people.
Well, Donnie, one of the things that I can tell you is that from talking with Peg and from being here in the area and from traveling all over the country, we're seeing that there is a new explosion that's coming out about young people. Everybody doesn't think that they need to go to have a 4-year college degree to be in order to be successful in life. And we know that that's not so. We know that there are plenty of careers that you can have that don't require a 4-year degree. And so if we want our
that's where the fight broke out. I can't take it no more, Dr. Dorsey. Dr. Dorsey, I see these young people on the back of a dirt bike riding one hand blindfold up the street while doing a 360, and you telling me this cat can't sit in the classroom. Or we just had on the show Friday Mark Booker, who works with inmates, people incarcerated, helping them to get their college degree. Now, I've heard that thing, and I'm just going to give you some pushback. I've heard this thing, not everybody's made for college.
Yes.
Until they get over that jail, and now you want to take a GED class. Now you want to sit and sit for the college courses. I'm not giving them that pass. Not this year. Come back in 2024. Our people can go to college, and they can do, because check this out. Say you do get a plumbing job, an electrician's job.
Yes.
You still got to know how to count and do your accounting, because otherwise somebody else going to be counting your money.
Count your money.
I don't know about you, but on North Avenue, we're just taught to count our own money.
Okay, but Donnie, I am not disagreeing with you. I am just saying that there may be a different path. So if you want to be the plumber, the electrician, what's happening is that we have a lot of the unions that have apprenticeship programs, and these apprenticeship programs are actually paying these students to come in, being able to learn exactly how to be able to do the particular job, and then being able to put them out on different sites. There's a group that Peggy and I are working with out of Baltimore called Empower. Empower is recognizing the need for certifications in technology. You don't need a 4-year degree, Donnie. Common sense will tell you that when you're a freshman in college working on a degree in technology, by the time you graduate 4 years later, everything you learned in that first year is obsolete right now. They done changed the phones 3 times or whatever. And so companies are looking at making sure that they hire people with certifications. Guess what? As Black people, we're one of the few people that are behind the certification. So Empower is taking young people anywhere from 18 to 26. They're providing them free training for certifications. And then once they are past all of these certifications, they will finding them employment. That company is based out of Baltimore. Again, one of the reasons that PEG wants us to be able to go there. Donnie, I get
babies, Dr. Dorsey. Have you seen little babies on the cell phone at 3 years old? They know how to work these phones. I don't know who they're talking about, but our babies know technology very well.
Very well.
Donnie, I agree that our children know technology very well. Okay, but can we translate that technology into a career? Can we translate that technology into a certification so that they can get hired just because they know it? It's the same thing, Donnie. I just got finished telling you, these kids on the street, they can count. They can count drug money. They can count, gang money. They can count,
I'm glad you said that.
pharmaceutical money. So we can't say counting is going to make you successful.
Well, Dr. Dorsey, when you point out the strength in our networks, when you point out the 1.3, 1.5, 1.6 trillion dollars in annual disposable income, we have everything in our community that we need. All we got to do, y'all got a lot going on. See, look at you multitasking right now. The challenge is us working together, Dr. Dorsey.
Yes.
Latinos, I see them working together really well. I see white people creating jobs for each other. But Dr. Dorsey, this is really where me and Peggy stand back to back. Sometimes it's us. Put my glasses on because I want to see the reaction on your face. Sometimes we are in position to help each other, Dr. Dorsey, and we get real new on each other. We become governor, mayor, president, senator. We get into all these, and then they come through and see Peggy. They see me just before they run for office. Oh, we want you. And then they get in office and look down their nose at you. The same people. Peggy, do you know what I'm talking about, or am I talking to myself?
No, I know what you're talking about.
And then they get in there. See, white people expect you to help each other. They expect us to help each other, but we don't. How do we do that? Because that's some domestic violence level stuff too. I got the opportunity to open the door for you and 70 or 80 people, but I want to get in there and turn my nose up and look down my nose. It's Dr. Dorsey. I don't have time to speak with her today, even though she helped me to get to here. Come on, I'll call her back.
We know a few, don't we, Donnie?
Yeah, but Donnie, that is why being part of
they will
Sisters
need us
Sisters
again.
Network.
They will need us again. They will need us again.
That's
That's
it.
when me and Peggy make that phone call. Not this time. Good luck with that, homeboy. Let me know how that work out.
Donnie and I know. We know the deal, don't we, Donnie?
We know when they get new on us. No problem. And when Peggy do that to you, ooh.
You can do it to me one time, Donnie. One time.
Put that thing up on you. Woo. You might as well go ahead and talk to Jesus. Why, Dr. Dorsey? Why don't we help each other?
Donnie, I can't tell you the answer to that problem. That is the $64,000 question. All I can say is that I can't tell you why they don't help each other. I can tell you that this is my responsibility to help. That is my responsibility to get back. I can't be accountable for what everybody else can do. I can be accountable for what I do, because at the end of the day, I have to speak for myself. And I can tell you that I am going to be there to help a new generation go forward. That I am going to be there with my sisters to be able to make sure that we provide the opportunities. Donnie, I'm going to tell you that we're providing them the resources. Even we're providing them the resources, and even at this, Donnie, you can't tell me, just like you were saying, that even when we do the scholarship expos and we're successful in them because we have 300 students or 400 students or whatever, Donnie, each probably one of the high schools got 1,000 high school seniors in there. So you telling me that in all of Prince George's County, we only got 500 high school seniors that want access to college education, that want access to scholarships? I got to maintain that is wrong, that there's probably more. Now, I don't know how to get more than 500, but I tell you what, I'm just going to focus on the 500 that did come. I can't make it be anything other than what it is.
Peggy, why don't we help each other more?
Well, Donnie, I think we're getting better at it. I really, really, really believe we are. And if it takes my network to say that, then I look around the people that I surround myself with, and they support each other. So yeah, there is language out there that we, and especially Black women, don't support each other, but we're doing better. We're getting
Peggy,
smarter. And we're
Peggy,
getting
you
wiser.
know, and I know when the election come along, with you and Prince George's and me in Baltimore, we have tapped into something in the 21 years that we have existed, both your organization and my organization, and that's the power of connecting Baltimore and Prince George's County, i.e. Michael Steele, i.e. Anthony Brown,
Anthony
i.e.
Brown.
Wes
Yeah.
Moore, i.e. anybody who's ever won, i.e. Robert Ehrlich, i.e. Larry Holt, all of them
Name them. Name them,
come
Donnie.
through this platform. That's what you need to know, Dr. Dorsey. The Baltimore Prince George's connection, the Prince George's Baltimore connection is more powerful than people realize. And those who tap into it win. Those who don't, they go home.
That's why we're here.
There you go, Dr. Lloyd Dorsey. That's the reason why we're here.
That's why
And
we're
that's
here.
the reason why we're here with Donnie, because Donnie will put it and make it plain.
Okay.
He'll make it plain.
So we got a big event coming up this weekend, right?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
give the rundown again.
So, okay, October 27th, which is Friday, we're going to be at Set the Captives Free Outreach Center in Baltimore. This is our first foray into Baltimore based on Peggy's insistence, as well as the church's insistence. Set the Captives Free. Set the Captives Free recognize the benefit, because last year they brought all of the students from Set the Captives Free into Prince George's County and got scholarships. And so they know that the program is great and that it works. And so now we're going to bring the colleges up to Baltimore so they don't have to necessarily travel to Prince George's County to be able to do that. And in the same sense, on Saturday, the same colleges are going to be in Prince George's County. Now, Donnie, one of the things, like you were saying, that why don't we help each other? And sometimes I wonder why do we do things that are against each other? So whereas we're doing this event, all of a sudden, as Bernie Mac would say, all of a sudden, there's several other different organizations that are trying to do the same thing. I maintain, okay, that's why I'm here with you today. You can go get information about going to college, or you can come to us and get some money about going to college. Your choice. Your choice. Various organizations are going on, but you need to be able to make sure. I maintain that ours is a scholarship fair, that our colleges are able to give out money on the spot to students. Every organization can't say that, and every one of the events that are necessarily going on can't say that they're doing what we're doing, or that they have the track record that we have, or that they have a national spotlight like we have. I'm just saying, you pick and choose your poison.
So what are you a doctor in, Dr. Dorsey?
I'm an EDD. I'm a doctor in education with adult education. That's my specialization.
And Lord knows we have education challenges. I got a little trivia for you, Dr. Dorsey.
What's that?
What was the purpose of Sunday school in the Black community?
Donnie, okay, and again, you probably know your history better than I do, and I know you're probably trying to trip me up, but let me just tell you what I think it was.
No, teach Black people to read and write.
And that's exactly, but that's what we first learned to read and write. The Bible was our first book that we learned to read, because remember that back even in the slavery times when you couldn't do anything else, it was the Bible, and the Bible was the stories. That's why they had the parables and the stories, and they passed those stories on and they passed those stories down. You all know, and we talk about it all the time in our history. We had the pastors who couldn't even read, but they could tell you the story because they had heard the stories coming up as children in Sunday school and being able to pass that on, and now they got theology degrees or whatever. But remember that old pastor that had that book that went from church to church or whatever? They always couldn't read, but they knew the stories, and they knew the stories, and they built the foundations on them. So yeah,
amen. I got to tell you, Dr. Dorsey, some of us were Muslim too.
Yeah.
So when we came, I don't know if you saw Amistad.
Yes.
But in Amistad, there were Muslims who came over, And then a lot of us going back to the indigenous roots, and this is where it's hard for a lot of us to wrap our brains around. A lot of us were already here, Dr. Dorsey. There were black people already here when the European arrived.
Yes.
You might want to get a copy of that. We were already here, and it's hard to wrap our brains around it because we've been force-fed this story of roots and Kunta Kinte and Kizzy and Chicken George when we just totally forget. For instance, Dr. Dorsey, real quick trivia point. Have you ever been to Vegas?
Yes.
In Vegas, they got a hotel called the Luxor.
Yes.
It's shaped like a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta ask yourself why these Las Vegas people got a pyramid in the desert. And I'm gonna tell you why. You on the Donnie Glover show, so I'm gonna tell you why.
Yes.
There's a place in Arizona called Kincaid's Cave.
Mm.
The Smithsonian knows all about it. You go down into this cave, and long story short, Kincaid found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon.
Are you kidding?
Ooh.
So that's why you got the Luxor, because the story got out that the Egyptians been here thousands of years ago, but they would have us think we came here in chains. Some did, but I can't trust somebody who don't know their own history to tell me my history, because I've also learned that blacks, Africans, Moors dominated Spain for 800 years. But none of that stuff is ever in the history books. They always tell us about George Washington never told a lie. Every damn thing they ever told us was a lie. Okay, I've rested my case.
Donnie.
Do your homework.
I just love connecting with Donnie. I mean, I've learned so much from this man. It's unbelievable. Every time.
A lot of times we got more history and more skin in the game
Then we know.
than we know.
Yeah.
That's why it's important that we keep on networking. Peggy, let me just say publicly, I guess it's 7 minutes left. It has been a joy. This has been 21 years. Y'all ain't got a mute button on your phone.
That's why I had it muted.
Don't make me start now. So we've done 21 years, Atlanta, New York, Baltimore, elections, education, supporting businesses, even down the National Harbor. I remember going to whoever had the store down there on National Harbor, the lady with the tan. What's her name again? Sharon Bullock.
Sharon Bullock.
Wearing that tan. It's not a tan, but she just cocked that thing to the side. You know it's her. You see her all the way over there. 21 years, Becky. We brought people together way beyond Baltimore. Y'all go even to Texas. Dr. Dorsey, you done met Dr. Frazier.
Yes.
Willie Jolly.
Dr. Willie Jolly, yes.
Willie Jolly know me by name. Hey, Doni. What's next?
Oh, I am just overwhelmed with
What's for Christmas, Peggy?
beautiful. We're coming to celebrate with you. We're going to close out the year with Donnie Glover.
Lord have mercy.
Got it on my calendar.
Any final thoughts you want to share, Peggy Mars?
Oh, what can I say, Donnie? I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed over and over to have the right people in my space, like you, Donnie, like Dr. Lloyd Dorsey, like so many women that understand the vision, understand what we have to do to make it work. So I'm just going to continue to push. I'm blessed every morning to be able to put my feet on the floor and say, it's a new day. Let me try it one more time. And let's see what happens.
Now, Peggy, I gotta ask you about my hero, Mr. Morris. We gotta put a plug in. You know I ain't gonna let you forget him. I see all y'all where Mr. Morris at.
But
Because
let me tell you something. My husband is amazing. He is
yes,
my
he is.
number one cheerleader. Really, he is my number one cheerleader. He is one of the guys that don't need to be up front. He's not a front person. He's a back wing. And he will do any and everything that needs to happen to make me be who I want to be.
Sometimes these cats be getting jealous of these women.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's one of the blessings. I don't have to worry about that. If anything, he puts his foot in it, and I tell you how he does it. He loves to cook. So he keeps me happy by cooking. So he's my personal chef, and he's a chef to so many women in my organization. Maybe that's the reason why I keep the organization going, because he takes
Gotta
care
have
of them.
food. Hey, you got a community meeting going on in Baltimore. You better get yourself some spaghetti or chicken wings or something. Have a community meeting. You don't have no sandwiches, no nothing, no chips, no punch, nothing. And let me tell you something. Baltimore we share food. I don't know about y'all in New York, Lord Dorsey. New York get a little stingy with the food. They give you liquor all day, but they get a little stingy with the food.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna leave
God.
New York alone. I gotta go
Good
up there.
morning, Leroy McKenzie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Peggy, we're gonna get out of here. Dr. Dorsey, any final thoughts from you?
I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody in Baltimore on Friday and at First Baptist Church in Highland Park on Saturday. If you want to make a difference, you want the answers to all of the questions or whatever, it's one step at a time, one child at a time, one part of Sisters for Sisters Network at a time.
How can people get in touch with you?
You can actually call me directly. Okay, so you can reach me by dialing area code 407-719-0225. That is my personal cell phone. It is right here. I will answer it. You've got any questions about the scholarship fair, about scholarships, about education, that is my business. That is what I do. That is part of what we do at Sisters for Sisters Network. We reach back out into the community. Call me.
Well, I'm gonna put it out here right
407.
now. I'm looking for funding for a PhD program. Me myself. I graduated in May with my master's, and I'm ready to get to a doctoral program. So keep me in
That's
mind.
why I love you, Donnie.
We ain't playing with them.
I know it. So proud of you, my brother.
Peggy, how can people get in touch with Sisters4Sisters Network Incorporated?
You can call me personally, 240-678-0117. And you actually can go to our website, Sisters, the number 4, sistersnetwork.org.
See how serious she look right there. Don't you mess with her when she take them glasses off. I'm telling you, you're in trouble.
I can see you better.
Yeah, she give me that side eye. You get that side eye, you best to know the boomerang coming next. All right, Peggy Morris, you pleased? We're pleased, and we're gonna get up out of here.
Love you, Donnie. Love you
back,
from the bottom of my
sis.
heart.
Thank you for all of your help over the years. Thank you for your patience.
You're welcome. Thank you, Lord, Dr. Lloyd Dorsey.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You'll get your check in the mail, okay?
Keep the millions
okay.
Good morning, world.
Love you.
Good morning.